We have 8 kids.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. We have 8 children, and they're amazing. They're phenomenal. Our oldest is 14 years old, and he's on the switcher today. And then we have a bunch that go down from there to our youngest, which he is 2.
Yep.
Revolution is his name. And we get these kids on one wheels pretty early on. So what do you think the youngest, what's a good age?
I mean, I'm looking, we have a 4-year-old as well. Last year in the summer, he was 3 and he could do it. He needed a little, what's that?
Yeah, he was on it.
He was on it. He needed a little stability because he couldn't always keep it activated, but he could do it. So I have full confidence this summer he'll be able to do it. So I think someone earlier actually said they're 4-year-old rides.
4-year-old, yeah, I saw that.
Kids they're like bouncy balls. They'll fall off. They'll get right back up a whole lot faster than you did.
Best time to learn.
Smack a helmet on them and just let them go. Some people ask, how do I get my kid if they're too light? We've done on the foot pads on the front, we've put 2 felt pads like you would put on the bottom of a chair so it wouldn't scratch the floor. We put felt pads there to help the pressure to get a little bit stronger so they stay active. That's on the XRs a little bit more than the pints, but we've done that as well just to help them. We make sure that their shoes are flat shoes. We buy them a pair of Vans. Nikes for little kids are not usually very good. I was
going to say some of our older ones have had to kind of figure out. Sometimes the Vans work great for them. Most, our little ones, the Vans work great and kind of keep that stability. Some of the older ones, when their feet are changing, have had to figure out what shoes work the best. So I think for the most part, most of our kids wear the Vans, but a couple of them, I think, wear their Nike tennis shoes.
Right, and we could pull footage of our kids eating it on pavement and stuff because their shoes. Epic had a struggle for a season on what shoes to wear. It was just that, and we
have to
again
figure it out.
Our I think with 8 kids, you kind of get like it's a little bit of survival of the fittest. It's like you can't manage everything, and so it's like don't be dumb.
Well, there's a little bit of like, hey, you get up and you go, or you don't ride it. Got to figure it out a little bit.
Yeah, so we help them with the shoes, felt pads, and then helmet them up and let them get going. And we start them in the grass. It's a little bit harder to ride for balance purposes, but the falls are less.
Safer.
There's not as much scraped knees and crying and Band-Aids and all those things. So we let them hold on to things in the grass, like holding on a tree like to start.
Or a picnic table.
Table we have. We just use things for them to really get used to. And then they're just... like at some point, you don't even know when it happens. It's like when a kid gets the understanding and the concept of riding a bicycle, they just you let go and all of a sudden it's like, I don't know what I did or they did. They're just riding. That's what happens on one wheels. They just start riding. Yeah. We do keep the settings lower on the
younger
pints or the XRs for them so the top speeds aren't as crazy. And the last thing that we've done that really helps all of them, especially on pints, is we lower the PSI really low. It makes it more stable for them as they're trying to learn how to balance. And then as they're getting older, we pump it up because as now Legend being 14 years old, he's heavier. And a deflated tire slows down his pint. So we got to pump it back up so it's strong for him so he can keep the speed going. And so those are the things that we've done that works for us because we really want all of our kids riding. We have a video where, man, I don't know, when the pints first came out, One Wheel was so gracious to hook us up or help us out with getting 6 pints for Christmas. It was such a wild expectation, or not an expectation, but wild thing happening. Here's footage of us racing a couple Christmases ago. That's epic riding. That's Icon back there in the pink with Lily. We're racing over a small...
Epic is flying.
Actually, a large hill up there in Duluth. That is Lake Superior, one of the Great Lakes of the United States. There's just... a lot of people riding one wheels, little kids riding. We're helping a friend in the middle of the pink, Aurora, the helmet there, trying to teach her how to ride. We love being able to do those things. We want to ride as a family. Now, some people are asking about our family, Hal. They're asking, how many twins out of the 8? How many twins did
0.
you push out?
All single babes.
All single babies. 8 times that woman was pregnant. Whew!
True story.
Let's
amazing
just applaud
woman.
that right there. Holy cow.
So many claps today. I love it.
Yeah, you got to applaud. You just really do. So that is our thoughts with riding kids. We can teach you a lot of things like we've learned with our kids riding.
I was going to say one more tip. You mentioned the grass, like having them start in the grass. I watched that, like, I myself, when I first started riding the one wheel, learned on the pavement and felt like I got it, fairly quickly, but I had a really hard time turning. When I watched the kids do it and they started in the grass, it really helps them with that toe side, backside, like that feeling. It has taken me forever to learn that. So I think the grass definitely helps with that wobble of figuring that out.
Good call, Hob. Good call. And so hopefully that helps you. Other people ask, well, like, what other safety gear do you do for your kids besides them riding on grass and helmets? And we get a lot of flack. People push back on that a little bit, and I'm not offended if somebody puts their child in bubble wrap and let them go down the street on things. It just this is what we've chosen, and
helmets for sure.
Yeah, helmets, and there's not.
We try to teach him to ride smart, like be aware of what's out in front of him, not just looking what is right next to them, or be aware of any other riders out there in front of them, things like that.
Yeah. So hopefully that helps a lot of you out there with young kids, especially as springtime coming for so many of you who want to get yours out riding. Any of those, pick up an old Plus, put felt pads on there, and they'll love riding that thing. It'll be very stable for them. I know that's a heavier device than the pint, but get them out there riding. We want to see that kind of stuff. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. We would love you to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Like turn on the bell notification.